Trump getting in, dollar went up, tariffs, oh my God, and rates went up. Oh my God, tariffs are inflationary. What happened as soon as Trump got in is he said, we don't want a strong dollar, and rightly so. I think they'll say that again. And the dollar weakened and rates went down for the entire next year. Even though the Fed were raising rates in 2027, the long end was going down in yield. That setup is likely to happen again.
Crypto asset prices dipped slightly on Wednesday. Bitcoin, the world's leading cryptocurrency, exhibited notable volatility following the Federal Reserve's latest monetary policy announcement. The downturn, which saw Bitcoin touch $98,700 off its recent all-time high, was part of a broader sell-off in risk assets triggered by the Fed's cautious messaging about future monetary policy adjustments. Despite the central bank delivering its third consecutive rate cut, lowering the target federal funds rate by a quarter point to a range of 4.25% to 4.5%, the lack of a clear commitment to further reductions unsettled markets. Investors responded by reassessing risk positions, affecting both traditional and digital asset classes. Bitcoin's 5.6% drop during Wednesday's trading session was the largest single-day decline since August, reflecting the market's sensitivity to policy shifts. Although Bitcoin temporarily dipped below $100,000 again today, it has since modestly rebounded, trading at $124,150 on CoinMarketCap as of press time. This recovery suggests that while market participants are recalibrating to align with the Fed's guidance, Bitcoin's strong psychological support around $100,000 remains a key level for traders and investors. In the latest episode of his monthly Drinks with R podcast, Real Vision founder and CEO Raoul discusses the importance of keeping a level head in such moments, which he describes as part and parcel of every crypto bull market. Despite recent price declines, Powell remains super bullish on crypto asset prices in 2025 and beyond. Powell, who has always maintained that this cycle has more in common with the 2016 and 2017 cycle, points out that crypto asset prices initially dipped after Trump's inauguration in 2017 before picking up sharply. Powell expects a repeat performance during the former president's next tenure. He warns investors to be as prepared for the 30% price declines as they are for the massive price increases. However, the Real Vision CEO believes the price declines will be few and far between, as liquidity conditions are expected to improve significantly.
What we're seeing is the market kind of recalibrating, like, oh, they're never going to cut rates again. We know if you're armed with the everything code, you're going to have to, because if not, you'll lose control of the bond market, in which case you have to use yield curve control, which is the same as more cowbell, which is more stimulus. So we know that they're going to bring it down. He's already said he's still biased to do this. He says, well, we're kind of neutral now, but we want to bring rates down. And the dot plots say they want to bring rates down, but they've raised the bar a little bit for this. So that means any weaker data gives them the opportunity to get rates down. As rates come down, it lowers the mortgage rates, which actually lowers inflation. So they want to do that. The other thing that I think Jay Powell wants to do, and certainly Scott Bessent when he comes in, is they need to weaken the dollar. The dollar plus rates has caused financial conditions to tighten, which is our global liquidity. And I'll come onto that a little bit later when I talk a bit more about the banana zone where we are. But we've had actually financial conditions tightening somewhat. And I think they're going to unwind that. So I don't think there's anything that's not expected. The other thing nobody's actually thought through is Elon is basically saying he will shut down the government in order to get rid of the budget they were trying to pass. You know, it's like this thick. It's nonsense. So he's going to try and fight that fight, which means there'll be a government shutdown. Will it be the shortest or the longest shutdown? I don't know. But Auntie Janet has $775 billion in her bank account to spend, which is a net injection of liquidity from the Treasury General account. That will likely be released. People haven't figured this out yet. Massive liquidity. Jay also said that he's going to cut the reverse repo a little bit further than expected. And the idea is to drain the reverse repo and put it into the banking system. That's about another $100 billion. So there's about $875 billion of stimulus that's potentially out there to come. If they cut the reverse repo, They're likely to end QT, because if not, the banks will end up with no capital. So QT may end as well. So all I can see going forward is liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. So anyway, the year has been great. The Everything Code has completely nailed it for us. If we've got one thing wrong, two things wrong. One is we expected inflation to be a little bit lower by now, but because rates have not come lower, this kind of weird duality issue. But rates are relatively low anyway. I mean, inflation is relatively low, but I think we'll see rates come lower. The business cycle, our forward-looking indicators are screaming higher. I'll show you that later. But ISM is still subdued, and we need ISM to go up so we can all earn more money, because the business cycle is actually what drives us. We're not tech giants who can just print money out of thin air by building AI tools. Most of us have to earn something and make something for a living, and we need demand, and that's not there yet. Hopefully I've really helped you guys. I've been trying to the future. I've been trying to educate you guys. I've been trying to help you develop your own frameworks and understanding. I still see the panic that rolls around. I understand. All of our wealth is in this trade. Mine too. I'm no different to you guys. But you can't panic on every 5% pullback. It's just going to be top. Somebody posts something on Twitter. Oh my God, it's all over. I put a poll out. My mind is fucking blown. I put a poll out saying, what do you think is the peak of the cycle? 65% of people think the cycle peaks at 150,000 Bitcoin. Maybe I'm wrong, but that sounds like PTSD to me. It sounds crazy considering what's happening in US politics, regulation. It sounds crazy when all the liquidity still lies ahead. It would be ridiculous versus any other cycle. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I'll be wrong again in the future. But I can see the PTSD and the fear because it matters so much to everybody.
For Pal, an important way to prepare for the next phase of the bull market is to take some lifestyle chips at an appropriate time during crypto fall. However, he suggests doing this in a strategic and systematic manner. Pal emphasizes the importance of taking lifestyle chips, a concept where investors secure a portion of profits during favorable market conditions to enhance their lifestyle or financial security while still holding core positions for long-term growth. He suggests that investors should define their long-term goals, understand market cycles, and implement a balanced strategy for profit-taking, rather than trying to time market peaks by liquidating some holdings after significant gains. Especially during strong performance years, investors can enjoy the immediate benefits of their investments while staying positioned for future growth. Let's get back to the video.
And as we go into next year, I will be trying to guide you on just taking some goddamn lifestyle chips off the table. I don't know when the right time is. And you'll be panicking because the market will fall 20%. You're like, oh my God, I've missed the opportunity. You haven't. I mean, the market's up so much from when most of you guys bought it. But we'll take some lifestyle chips off and you guys can then calm down. I know it's important to everybody. I know this is the biggest bet everybody's ever taken in their entire careers. And if it isn't, I don't know what's wrong with you, because this is the greatest opportunity of all time. The banana zone will help us. The banana zone will move to the banana singularity when everything goes up at the same time. And then you'll take some money off the table and you will hate doing it, but you will thank me at some point. And then we'll figure out the rest of the cycle as we go. So this is the chart you're all worried about. You're like, oh my God, we're all going to die. I mentioned this on Twitter. You're over-indexing on the fact that liquidity is going to draw and it will bring price down. Are we having it now? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we actually have another push into year end because this chart suggests that it actually goes into year end, but I'm not expecting perfection. So maybe this is the drawdown, but it looks terrifying on the chart. But we've seen all of this before. And let me show you. So here's Bitcoin. Last time Trump came in, it rallied into the end of the year and then corrected 27%. And then it just went up and alts outperformed because alt season happened. Now that was driven by exactly the same factors. Trump getting in, dollar went up, tariffs, oh my God, and rates went up. Oh my God, tariffs are inflationary. What happened as soon as Trump got in is he said, we don't want a strong dollar, and rightly so. I think they'll say that again. And the dollar weakened and rates went down for the entire next year. Even though the Fed were raising rates in 2027, the long end was going down in yield. That setup is likely to happen again. So we're getting into this perfect setup that whatever the correction is, things will rally. Now, it was Bitcoin that had the bigger sell-off. Other things like ETH sold off less and then rallied back in that period. So we don't know what happens. Let's zoom in here on the chart of Bitcoin. There it is, the Trump victory, this rally in Bitcoin, the correction, and then it did 23x. Yeah, 23x. Are we going to do 23x? Absolutely not. Are we going to do 5x from here? I don't know, probably. You know, my base case is 250 worse, 500 plus in a blow off top market. Like, I'm not saying it's going to 500,000. I have a probabilistic framework. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's the most likely thing. So, you know, each time we've had these kind of transitions into the new government, we have this breakout, and that should continue higher. Don't see why this can't go 200,000 plus. I mean, it would look pretty basic on this chart, even if we have a law of diminishing returns in the Bitcoin cycle. So for me, it feels good. If I look at the global M2, which is another way of measuring liquidity, look, every time we get to election year, you have this tightening of liquidity. We had it in 2016, and then 17 it expanded. We saw it in 2020, then it expanded, and now we've got it again. It kind of retests the breakout and keeps going. Global liquidity is actually driven by the dollar. So it is going to be about the dollar, and things can change, and I could be wrong. So the dollar is the main thing. The dollar last time, it's been following the 2017 election cycle really well, 2016, 17, and it should say this last leg in the dollar, next few days and stuff, should be the end of the dollar rally, and then that will ease up global M2.
Similar to Powell's 250,000 to 500,000 Bitcoin prediction, Robert Kiyosaki, the renowned author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has expressed renewed bullish sentiments for Bitcoin after the leading cryptocurrency hit its latest all-time price. Kiyosaki took to his X account on Tuesday to celebrate the milestone. His post reads, "Yay. Bitcoin is holding above $106,000, yay." Again, the rich get richer. Unfortunately, fewer than 1 out of 8 million individuals can write a check for $106,000. Does that mean only the rich who have $106,000 in cash will get richer as Bitcoin's price soars higher? No, of course not. That is the genius of Bitcoin. Even if all a person can afford is half a Satoshi, Bitcoin's design is democratic, allowing even people who cannot write $106,000 checks the same equal opportunity to get richer and richer as those who can write the checks. Brilliant, but do not delay. Start getting richer today. At least start stashing Satoshi before sats are also $106,000. In a follow-up post on Wednesday, Kiyosaki added, "Trump is the first Bitcoin president. Bitcoin to $350,000 in 2025. Own more Bitcoin in 2025. Do you agree with Powell's and Kiyosaki's predictions for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in 2025?